So we're the Unpanderers. Tonight we're going to talk about escapism, how you want to get out of your own life because it's so mundane and boring that you just can't stand it. I can't stand this anymore. Let's get out of here. Let's start the intro already. So I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick, folks.
We're old friends dissecting one topic at a time. People, technology, media, we've got it all covered.
Each discussion here is a deep dive into our unique perspective. The taboo, forbidden subjects, they're all on the chopping block, baby. We don't pander to popular opinion. We might even get a little bit dirty.
Warning, this podcast may contain mature language and sexual content and is for infotainment purposes only.
So join us. Have a good time.
Open up your ear holes, because we're going to fondle your follicles. There we go, we're live. We're into this.
Baby!
I'm feeling better than I thought I would. I woke up at...
snap into it.
Yeah.
Like Slim Jim.
Oh, crack. I woke up at 3:30 this morning and did not sleep since. Have not slept since.
Really?
Part of having a new kid.
That's why you look like that.
Yeah. New baby will make you pretty tired, make you pretty stressed.
I've seen that shirt in a previous episode too.
Yeah. It's a video game. Make you want to escape. Well, the stress
today we're really going to be talking about getting away from stuff because you need to get away from stuff.
I need to get away from some stuff. Actually, my son and I, we both have the same method of getting away from things. We hit the bottle. We hit it hard. And Dr. Brown's baby bottles.
He came with props.
Yeah.
This guy's good.
They're pretty good. You know, I didn't want to become a colic, so Dr. Brown's has this special little... Oh, let me undo this little piece here. It has a blue little straw in the middle that just sucks the air out of whatever you're drinking for babies.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it also has multiple parts that makes it really confusing too.
Cut down on burps.
Huh? And it's an IQ test too for people who've never used a baby bottle before. They never get it right. All my relatives.
Have you been checking that bad boy for mold? You know, every extra part of a baby bottle pretty much grows mold.
Yeah,
eventually.
I've got a tiny little filter thing that just goes in the little pipe cleaner. It's the tiny little one. Gets the nip.
Weird.
Yeah. So.
Not your first nipple, right?
No. But have you tried breast milk before?
Was that breast milk?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have any heavy cream, so I had to substitute.
Is that really breast milk?
Yeah. You never tried breast milk before?
I've sipped it, but not like.
It's rather oily.
Wow. Oilier owl?
Oilier owl. Yeah.
Oilier owl, as we say. A good tongue twister will get you started.
Well, you know what they say, right?
Yes. I guess you got to push the envelope, huh?
Yeah. You know, if your wife's gushing, you make a white Russian. Because we got some excess breast milk here. You got to use it up.
Damn, my man's on fire tonight. I don't even know what to say.
Ooh, yeah. See that? Nice little... Oh.
No.
Oh, yeah. Get ready for it.
It's not really breast milk.
It's fantastic. This is good stuff, man.
It's not really breast milk.
It's the most expensive drink because you can't buy breast milk. I mean,
you can.
A life of indulgence right here.
Oh my God, you can buy breast milk. You can buy breast milk on the black market. You can probably buy it on the not black market. Can't you?
I give you until next episode to buy breast milk on the black market. Quality breast milk.
Breast milk on my own. Oh wait, define quality.
High fat percentage.
Yeah, the individual or their milk?
I want a background check on this breast milk. I don't want some immature quality.
High school GPA. I want some numbers here. Ooh. Maybe some fitness endurance tests. You're mixing that bad boy up.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you get the baby spoon.
Oh, with the baby spoon? Damn.
Yeah, I know you're missing a stirrer. Ooh.
I don't use straws anymore, actually.
Oh, that's so delicious.
Really? Did you really do this? I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. I think he's pulling our leg, folks. But
that's good. I don't remember. Man, white Russians are delicious. Don't drink, folks, and prevent colic.
Don't drink and listen to the podcast.
So some people escape using alcohol, drugs, or medications that make them happy. I don't know if that's a good idea. It's probably a bad idea.
Bad idea.
Yeah. You want me to start with the definition here?
Sure. Let's do the definition, even though I did want to bring up something that makes me not want to escape my life.
Sure. Escapism is the avoidance of unpleasant, boring, arduous, scary, or banal aspects of daily life. Daily life. It can also be used as a term to define the actions people take to relieve persistent feelings of depression or general sadness, aka daily life.
That's going to be reiterated a lot. The day-to-day, the mundane, the boring.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, interesting. So you're telling me anything I do to distract myself from my own life is escapism?
Mm-hmm. That extra minute you spend in the toilet stall? Escapist.
Yeah. What about when I'm playing a video game?
How long you been playing the video game? Do you play it to get away?
No, like 10 hours a day.
Are you learning and having fun and growing and being stimulated?
I mean, it's a sex game, but I play it 10 hours a day. And I'd say I'm pretty engorged by the end. Is that escapism?
Heavily stimulated? Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
You son of a bitch. I don't want to talk about your penis because
aren't all video games escapism? Aren't all movies escapism? If we break it down, isn't everything escapism?
Pretty much is.
Survival.
Yeah.
If it's not survival, it's escapism. Is that what you're getting at?
How many people escape to their daily life? None, right?
Yeah, I can't wait to take the daily commute. Oh, man, this just lets me get a little bit.
Wake me up before you go.
Yeah,
I
No one knows those words. That's why.
I didn't want to sing them, but if I kept singing, I would have had them. They would have came out of nowhere. Just like Nick.
Just like me.
But there's a good and a bad. So my definition of playing video games, usually it's a good version of escapism, whereas the bad,
it's good.
For other people, all other people.
Aspects. Weird. So I just want to give you my smirk, not smile. No, it's a smile.
Oh God, that's good. Go ahead.
So I shaved. I got this like razor burn because I never shave all the way.
Yeah. Did you use the white? What do we call it?
Oh, gel, whatever. Yeah, but it's like a really old electric
breast milk. Yeah.
Yeah, breast milk.
That'll ease the rash. I use it for everything.
It probably would. I need to get some boobie milk.
Yeah, black market. Here we come.
Black market, baby. So I never shave all the way to the skin.
Mm-hmm.
I always just kind of do the whole trim it down to like here, so it's like 5 o'clock shadow all the time.
Yeah. You're trying to be ultra smooth.
Trying to be ultra smooth. Have the follow-up interview. We know we talked about job interviews.
You should have done laser hair removal.
I should have, except that I never would have grown it back.
Ultra smooth.
Ultra smooth for life, baby.
Yeah.
But I went to CVS because right before this podcast started, I realized I didn't have computer paper, and I needed computer paper to print my resume.
Resume. That's what's called.
Resume. So I went to CVS, and young girl, like 24, 22, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
She's all right. Yeah, I could tell like she was like just finishing school.
Yeah.
You know,
educated a little bit.
Asian American, cute.
Okay,
she was putting toothbrush. I made a couple jokes to her. I said, "Hey, blah, blah, blah. You want me to help you with the toothbrush?" I was just being nice, and she laughed. And then I said, "Anyway, I got my stuff," because she said, "Call me when you're ready to ring up," because she was nighttime. So I went over and like she was like flustered, and I just wanted to give her my stuff. And she said, "Oh my God, and your hair, is that natural?" And I said, no. Or did you dye that? And I said, no, it's natural. She said, wow. And I was like, no one says wow. I think she's wooing me here.
Did she ask to touch it?
No. And then I said, I used to be a camp counselor of 5-year-olds. And I told them it was bird poop. And they called me Counselor Bird Poop. Which is a true story, yeah. He called me Nikki Bird Poop. But, I didn't need to tell her my first name. And she laughed, and she said, anyway, the total comes to whatever, and I handed her the bills, and she just punched the button, and she hit enter, and register open, and she closed it, and she handed me my receipt. She's like, "Have a great day." And I was like, "Do I get my change?" I was like, "Do I get my change?" And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And she was like, "I'm so." I was like, "Oh yeah, you were." So I'm taking credit for it, but she must not have been able to see my bumps here. She was probably looking at here.
Yeah. Wow.
Flustered her up, dude. She didn't even give me change. She just totally closed the drawer and smiled at me, and I was like,
unbelievable.
Anything back?
That never happens. Yeah. So that brings us to our second most biggest escapist strategy is women. People believe that women are in love with them, and they're in love with the idea of women.
Which brings me to my smirk. Fellas, you ever been sleeping there? Mind your own business, dreaming, sleeping, doing whatever the hell it is when we're asleep.
It's the breast milk, man.
I know.
Can't stop.
And you're just...
I'm so addicted to it.
You're sitting there, you're dreaming, you're doing whatever. It's like 2 a.m. And your girl wakes you up. What are you doing? And I said, I'm sleeping. Is something wrong? Yeah. You're wiping the stuff out of your eyes. Is something wrong?
Trying to get a train of thought going.
No. Anyway, she says no. And then you're back to sleep. Whatever. No big deal. So then you wake up for your alarm clock. You got to go to work, blah, blah, blah. And she rolls over and she says, "Who's Moira?" And I was like, or Maura. And I was like, "Excuse me?" She kept saying Maura, and you were pleased with her in your sleep. And I was like, I don't even know a Maura. Like, I don't know. Was it Italian? Was I saying Amora? And then
full
I said,
of love.
"Oh, maybe it's." And then I said, "Maybe it's the Overwatch character Moira, because I've been playing Overwatch." But I was like, and I tried to explain this to her. I was like, "But I never pick Moira. All the girls to the right, like the attack women, I've never picked them. Like, I pick Farrow," and I was trying to explain this to her at like 6 a.m. I was like, "I'll pick Farrow and Bridget, but I don't pick Moira and the sniper girl and the other girl and there's another girl. I really never pick them. They're just, I would never even be them. It's a waste of my time." And she was like, "Who's Moira?" And I was like, "You don't get it. It's got to be wrong." Anyway, she was mad at me. And I was like, "All right, see you, babe." And she was like,
For a name in your sleep.
But yeah, maybe a name in my sleep. I don't even know. But that reminded me of my favorite thing of like sitcoms ever is like if like a guy and a girl are sleeping next to each other, and the girl's awake and the guy's smiling and he says the girl's name, and she whacks him real hard. And he's like, "What did I do?" And she's like, "You know what you did." It's like, what?
Another
That's
woman.
Not fair. Yeah, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not what happened here. So that's my smirk. Women, folks. Women. Am I right, guys? I'm right, guys.
We need to talk about that in a future episode.
Women?
We're going to get in trouble.
Let's just do an episode where we literally get broken up with.
We break up with our women at the same time.
Well, we say the worst things we could, and then like by the end of the episode, we're like, well, it wasn't there for a month and a half.
Yeah. I've got 3 months before she breaks up with me.
For this aired. Sorry, my smirk and smile are both involve women. So
yeah, it's a good escape.
One of which isn't real, and one of which works at CBS, I guess.
I guess 2 you escape to, and 1 you escape from.
I guess so.
I guess so.
How's that breast milk?
Yeah.
How's that breast milk?
Delicious. So you were sleeping. I guess that's one escape from life, but everyone needs to sleep.
It's natural. You can't escape. That's part of life.
That's not getting out of bed is an escapist strategy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Same with
escapism sounds a lot like depression.
Yeah, well, they link it together for some reason. But people like who wrote children's novels? I want to say Louis C.K., but that's not right. C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis.
Somebody did. Oh, was C.S. Lewis?
Yeah.
Oh, like not the other Lewis. Yeah. I'm thinking Lewis Black. No,
yeah. I think he might have actually, though. But, he was making fun of the remarks that it was negative. He was saying that it's a creative expression of reality. So it's an essential.
It kind of is. You have to imagine. That's why kids imagine. Think of all the games and things kids play with. It's all imagination. If you don't have imagination, you don't go somewhere else. you will be sucked dry of this boring, awful reality we call life, right?
Yeah, I like to think that my child, he's only 2, but it probably continues until they're like at least 12, that they have no idea of what reality is. So their entire existence is escapism.
They don't until they are old enough to have a kid. Think of that.
You're a child until you have a child.
I mean, not really, but think of how if you could go back in time to when you didn't have a kid, let's say 5-6 years ago, with the knowledge and everything in your brain right now, and you did it, like you don't have a choice. You just went back and you did it, and now you don't have a kid.
Responsibilities. Oh.
How much free time and like just
wasted time. I'd waste so much time doing BS.
Nothing. Who cares? It would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You could just leave the house whenever you wanted.
Oh my God!
You go on vacation.
You go somewhere. You can go anywhere. You just drive somewhere and not worry about anything. How crazy is that?
Until the next morning when you have to go to your job, which is the next responsibility after children.
Yeah, it kind of is. It goes job, children. Well, you get the job first, and then stop clinking your breast milk thing, man. It's just
you can't focus.
Me.
I know it is.
It is distracting me.
Hope people see that on the stream.
They're streaming, all right.
Oh yeah. So have you ever seen Walter Mitty, Secret Life of Walter Mitty?
I have. That was actually a well-done movie.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit.
I didn't love the movie, but it was well done, and I liked, the whole idea of it.
He's an escapist daydreamer who can't focus on reality?
Yeah. I think so. That's a good way to put it.
I like that version. Just as a kid, I used to daydream all the time just to get out of the monotony. Like on the bus to school.
Weird. What was your daydream on the bus?
It was I think it was Last Action Hero, where they were like Karate Kid kind of, right?
Where what? I'm trying to figure out what you're...
Well, like the character in it, the kid was like, he was doing like karate part of it, right? And I would imagine him running beside the bus and doing karate kicks and stuff.
Like to nobody?
To me. I was just showing off because I was on the bus to school.
Oh, mine were way cooler.
Oh, let's hear them.
When we had church back in Ransom, I'll tell you the name. I think they shut
Jesus
it down.
would come off the cross?
No, they had the real big thing behind the tabernacle that was like 30 feet high. Mm-hmm. It was like made of a...
And like fall down and crush the priest?
No. I imagine terrorists broke in through the skylight.
Oh, that's the best,
and would rappel down ropes, and then they had guns, like super machine guns, and then they would they would come from the exits behind us, and they would rappel down the big Jesus statue, and they would just scream at everybody to get down. And I always figured a way, because there's like 40 pews, and 40 pews. I would get down and crawl and find my way back to like one of the exits back there. And then I start kicking some terrorist ass one at a time. And then like maybe I get a gun.
You get in the loft area. You start playing the organ and firing bullets. Man, it's
a little bit like Die Hard, I guess. Was I too young to have seen Die Hard? There's no way. Your parents wouldn't have allowed it. Maybe I created Die Hard in my head or my heart. Maybe.
Did you have the one where like water was coming from the floor and you had to find an escape? Do you think about that one?
Not a lot, but sometimes. Because you have the fear of drowning.
Maybe. Or the one where like the house is no longer vertical. It's like on its side. It's like rotating.
Oh, that's a cool one. That's cool.
That's a good one.
We used to pretend even just playing outside games with the other kids. Mm-hmm. Like
the floor is lava?
Tag or Manhunt. No. Like just a game that already has rules. Like Manhunt or Cops and Robbers or Tag or any of those kind of games
that you're hiding like
like in a real deep brush, and you're like camouflaged in your head, like, you know what I mean,
like you're Rambo or
a little bit,
Predator.
And you're gonna, I killed like 6 kids. It was my grandmom's neighbors. I snapped their necks.
as a very strong 6-year-old.
Yeah, I was really strong, and I was in the moment. When the judge approached me, I said escapism. He said, it's no big deal. It happens. So they let me go.
Escapist.
Shout out to Judge Wapner.
Wapner? That's way back. It's before Judge Judy, I think.
She hates men.
I don't know.
She does.
She does?
Mm-hmm.
I Thought she hated
I don't care.
life.
I mean, she also hates young people, which I kind of do too now.
She hates anyone who's not her. And idiots.
That's a good point. She's old and a woman. And she hates idiots. So she's probably... I'm not saying she is an old woman, but she likes older people and women and people who aren't dopes.
Yes.
Yo, I saw the funniest... I don't even know if it came up on the podcast. There's a Judge Judy clip where a defendant, and they're like 25, 30 range, and it's my ex-boyfriend. I kicked him out. I need money for the rent. He took the car, blah, 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 blah. And she says, well, how does it implicate that he's your ex? How long have you guys been separated? I don't understand. You're living together. And she says, well, we ain't been together in over a year. Judge, I just want him to pay this bill. And she looks at them both and she says, when's the last time you both did the whoopee? Or she says something like old for when you guys had sex, you know?
Rock Casbah.
And yeah, the funniest thing is he just looks at the judge. He looks at her. He goes, this morning. And he goes to double guns. And she's like, oh. She doesn't know what to say because it must have been like a spur of the moment, like heated passion thing that happens once in a while. And he totally just ran her over with a bus. And she was like, oh. You got to look that clip up. But I don't know how you would look it up, but it'll be good for the audience when they have free time.
I'm sure I can add a link if it's copyright free, but I doubt it's copyright free. She's making a boatload of money, and that's probably where it comes from. Suckers playing her clips on podcasts.
Well, then we ain't. Don't even look it up.
We ain't no dum-dums. We ain't getting bringing her to her court.
Can you imagine? You idiots. Where are you recording this? Your mother's basements? Get a job.
When was the last time you two...
Ooh. Oh. All right, so escapism's crazy because it's good, but it's also bad.
Depends how you're using the escapism. So like when I was 14, 15, I really had nothing to do, so I played a game called EverQuest. And EverQuest, it gave a structure where you could build your character, but that's endless. And then there's some social aspect to it, but really, not really. You don't really, it was just typing. But the best parts about it, the parts I really gravitated to were the levels were like really in depth, and there were some that had like mazes in the very beginning, and you have to figure out the maze in order to get to the next level, like the next area, and it's usually like deep within something or hidden away, or it was just like isolated. So I really gravitated to those areas and just spent most of my time like underneath like stories of dirt or like in a faraway courtyard that no one else ever went to. I found my little piece, my little island.
See, I never played it, so I don't understand the format or whatever. I'd like to, in my brain, see how it plays out. I have to see it. I mean, I could view it.
Role-playing game where you just kill stuff and pick up the items. But right, it was like a very...
third person? Like, what was
you could switch between them. You're essentially a warrior, and you just run around killing stuff. So you can go into these little levels, and like you're supposed to gather up things, and screw that. I would just like go to one spot and kill the same thing over and over again because I felt really comfortable there. And nobody can get in my safe spot. It's my secret place.
Your escapism. Interesting.
I do that a lot in video games.
I wonder if I do that in video games.
I don't know that other people do that. Like I would find the nook and cranny. Like there was nooks and crannies. So there's a like crooks different.
Oh my god!
Crooks and nannies.
Great. Yeah, crooks and nannies would be my new. If you're going to a pub and you play Quizzo group name. Crooks and nannies. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So I'd find like little areas that would just like you'd get away. That's all. There's no way I could explain it. There's no way I could share my feelings for it because it was just like a personal space. Because I had to be able to see the world without people actually getting to me, and I just like watch them go by.
I like it.
Yeah.
So like the English muffin of gaming.
What does that mean?
Nooks and crannies.
Oh, like nooks and crannies. Oh, okay. English. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense, right?
Yeah. I guess my question to you is, what do you escape from? What did you escape from when you were younger?
Just boring stuff. I guess whether you're smart or dumb, or athletic or unathletic or tall or fat or whatever, like you kind of start to figure out that maybe life sort of is monotonous and sucky oftentimes, because no matter what you are, you're not everything. Like you can't be in the fat club, you can't be in the athletic club, you can't be cool, you can't be rich, you can't be in the poor kids that hate the rich kids, you can't be in every group at once. So you're going to kind of be excluded. You're going to kind of find yourself on the outside in a lot of scenarios in life. I mean, and you could
agree.
You could do the status quo and just join the 1 or 2 or 3 groups that really define you, but I find that boring too.
Yeah, I guess one of my goals in life is to do everything. So I might not be.
I would love to do more things.
I might not be extremely proficient at certain things, but I still experience them and try them.
Be able to, try it, do it, maybe get a little good at it. You don't have to get great at it, but But I think that's what escapism is kind of about. It's about getting off the beaten path. It's about trying something different, like
immersing yourself in a different environment or going to a different place.
Yeah, because what else is life? I mean, really serious people who are fairly boring can be very successful and lead important lives and do good things, but I couldn't do that.
So like a CEO of a company that's an asshole, he made it himself an asshole to get up there?
I'm not going to say he's an asshole, but let's say he's pretty boring.
He's,
and he never did anything
empty.
Weird.
His happiness is not there.
Is that what we're saying?
Soulless. He's never immersed himself in a different experience.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, people without imagination are kind of weird. I don't like it.
I see that every day, where there's a woman in my office that never looks up when I walk past her, and I think to myself, like, is that me? I mean, but it's got to be her. Like, there's got to be, like, why would you never acknowledge people? You're either in your own little world escaping, or you are so present in your world that you can't deal with your anxieties. So I guess you're escaping by looking down, not acknowledging people.
Question: is there a possibility she's more imaginative than both of us, and she's pretending she's elsewhere while she's at her desk? Like
she's
crap.
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
Possible, right?
It's yeah.
I doubt it, but
yeah.
let's assume it's possible. Then would it go to say that everyone is equally as imaginative? They just do it in different ways. I don't know.
Ways that other people can't pick up. They don't perceive.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, as a really dumb jock who's like, oh, I throw the football for the team. I'm real good at
He's really imaginative about how a football feels or looks.
Yeah. He's just these football things that I will never be able to imagine. And he's just
like, how do you think?
I don't know.
Like, I'm going to bring up Tom Brady because he has won several Super Bowls.
He won.
Do you think he knows a football better than other people? Like, he must have a sense of the football that other people just don't have.
I guess so. I mean, if you do something enough, you have weird senses that you don't plan on. He actually probably has weird senses about pressure coming from different directions.
So, like
he's
wind?
The ball for 3 seconds. No, like pressure from other team. Like, without looking, he can almost tell by the sound of the cleats and maybe his own offensive lineman that someone's breaking through the line and maybe has a hand near the back of him. There's no way he could see that hand.
He's a Jedi.
He can almost feel it. Yeah, a little bit. Just from a million different cues that he might not even be aware of. And he knows, I just got to dunk the ball, or I got to get rid of it, or my safety valve, or I got to do whatever. There's stuff like that, I think, that comes with doing something proficient for a long amount of time. You pick up on subtle cues you're not even aware of. Now, is that an escapism? I forget why we got into it.
Yeah, I don't think that's escapism, but that's
it's not. But
it's, I guess, the way people perceive things and the perception of other people's escapes.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think that also goes with the negativity associated with escapism. Is that, I mean, the people that are withdrawn, maybe they're not feeling good, maybe they're not happy, but I mean, I could be perceived as a wallflower and withdrawn until you really start talking to me, and then it's like, oh, he's fine. Like, what? Why did I ever think he was crazy?
Yeah. And then I found his podcast.
Yeah.
And then I knew he was insane.
But you could be completely. Normal is a weird word to use because no one is actually normal. But I mean, you could be completely harmless and enjoying life, and people could perceive the wrong thing just because you're not actively engaged in whatever stupid thing they're doing.
There's a thing with kids nowadays, I find. Even my own son. Mm-hmm. It's like there's an escapist thing here where they want to watch their favorite movie, show, iPad, whatever, because
it's familiar.
That's what they're used to.
Yeah.
Well,
I want to watch Cars again, Daddy. I want to watch Cars. I want to watch Cars. You just watched Cars. Why do you want to watch Cars again? Because I can only say Cars 1 and 3. That's all we got.
Oh, you don't got 2?
I need to get 2. Please,
just for something,
Lord,
just for something different.
Save me.
Different for the record, 2 was a deviation of the series, and it went off on Mater. It focuses on Mater, and it's really bad.
Oh, that's
but
why.
It's also a spy movie, but it's fine. I mean, it's just something different. I'm not watching any of them for their movie value.
I wonder if I took a picture of Lightning McQueen and just went and I just like had it left and right with the kid by it.
Nope. They'd figure it out.
Play Cars. And he'd be like, yeah, Daddy, but it's not Cars.
No, it's different. It's different. Shut up. But anyway, they, when I was a kid, which is an expression that sounds stupid when you say it, but when you really think about it, I mean, I couldn't control when was on, what was on when. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you had to open up the TV guide.
Ninja Turtles. I had to wait to figure out when the Turtles were on, and then hope it wasn't just a rerun, which it was 90% of the time, and then like just.
So your impulses were squashed. You couldn't get immediate gratification. That's what the word
we couldn't. If I could have, I'm sure I would have, and turned out to be a jerk or whatever. But now this generation kind of is immediately gratified. I just hit a button that starts to show up or the movie up, almost any movie they want. Right?
Does that make them more likely to be escapists or less likely since they experience it?
More because they want to go back to it. Like if they want to watch it 8 times and then like later on you're like, hey, let's go do something else. And they were like, hey, I want to do X or Y. And you're like, oh, well, we did X or Y. Why do you want to do that again? Well, because it's their favorite and they have a choice, they think. I mean, sometimes you have to just stop them, but...
Do you think you naturally burn out? So this is the video game thing, is that there are many video games that I played that were essentially endless, like Clash of Clans. So you could keep playing Clash of Clans as long as you damn well please, and you would never beat the game. You would never have it finished. The same thing with EverQuest. You could never beat it. There's no ending.
If Callie's watching right now, do you think he's still playing?
He is still playing. I can guarantee it. I checked last week.
Okay, nice. Did you?
Yeah. Every few months.
Wait, did they see you?
No, I don't join. I don't join back into that group. I don't want to get addicted to it.
So how do you? Oh, you just looked at the.
I look to see like if they have
a group.
If they're rated, that means they've played recently within the last like month or something.
Nice.
They're all rated.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's so funny. There's a piece of it that like you buy into the game that you're building yourself, which is really fake. If it's a facade, it's really for
all games are fake if you want to break it down. But let's.
Yeah. In this particular way, it's endless, so it's really, really a facade.
Diminishing returns.
Yeah. You could say there's a social aspect to it, which there definitely is. There's an enjoyable... until we left. And then there's the piece where you're just doing it because it's a compulsion. And the compulsion part is where it's not good for you. So you hear the music. The music is addictive. The colors are very bright. Like even if you're... I remember trying to fall asleep and like looking at the game, and I'd wake up immediately because it was like bright green. You had like birds flitting and like golden whatever. You would immediately be sucked into the game, and you'd be taken to a different place.
Wavelengths, baby. Woo.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's bad because you're also doing it because you've already been doing it.
Yeah, I think I played.
You put so much into it, I can't stop now.
That's
the idea.
I played EverQuest for over 100 days. Like the time spent on that game while actually playing it, 100 days worth. So that is literally...
You have to work it out. You're saying 24,000 hours?
24,000. What is 10 days in hours? Is that 100 days? No, 100 days in... Yeah. 2,400 hours.
You said 100. Okay, 24. Yeah, 2,400 hours.
So that's... I'm going to do some math here. If you had 4 hours a day...
Let's say 2 hours a day, because that's more realistic. I'll make sure I'm not getting text. And panders are live.
Oh, great. That's good. So that is almost 3.5 years of playing the game 2 hours a day every day. Wow. That's a bit excessive.
Wow. Yeah, that's a bit... Well, if you're gleaning something from it, I mean, how is it more damaging than working a job 7 hours a day for 5 days a week? Think of that.
Well, a job at that age. So this is the key that makes it fair.
It's an age. Okay, yeah,
because I could have worked that much time in a job that paid me $6 an hour, and that would be completely worthless. I would have actually. I don't think I would have been influenced by games, by programming, by logically thinking things through, planning. Because like the way I played that game was mechanical in a way, because I played it so much that I would like set timers. Timers would go off. I'd jump on just so I could kill this one thing, and like it would. The game manipulated me to do that, but it also made me more machine-like, which is my end goal in life.
It so is. It so is. So what you were doing is really gaming the game, but they knew that you could game the game. So it was kind of a stalemate. You're both doing You're both maximizing each other.
Yeah, but there's a point where I realized that there was no point to continuing. So, like, there was a period probably I should have stopped earlier, but the escapist in me wanted to just keep playing. And up until the time where I got my license, I kept going and then stopped. Because I said, there's other parts of life.
No, I mean, being good at something is a feeling unto itself. Like,
that's true.
Is playing a musical instrument escapist?
I definitely think so. I don't...
Because you can get better at it, and I don't find that to be a diminishing quality. Like, I find that to be
soothing. It's almost like doing a mantra or doing yoga or something.
An exemplary quality. I think that's a good quality for a person to have. Like, I don't look at someone necessarily who could put 100 hours into a video game as like a good quality. I'm not like, oh, he must be a good person. He put over 100 hours in EverQuest. And this might be a weird prejudice on my part, because I never played EverQuest. Mm-hmm. But then I look and someone's like, oh, dude, I'm really good at guitar. And I'm like, are you? And he's like, yeah, like I can play, and he names a bunch of things. I'm like, he's a good dude. And I'm not sure why I think that way, because there's no logical reason. You know what I mean?
It's just because people are in the same vein as you that you favor them.
Right. So really, I just favor anyone who does the stuff I do.
There is a piece that comes with playing guitar and bass and musical instruments, because there's a resonance. I'll say the resonance is there, that you have a feedback.
Musical man, a feedback here with two music terms at once. This guy.
You're feeling it throughout your body, what you're doing. So there's something like subliminal there that makes you happy when you're playing an instrument, and you could give that to other people. Video game, you can't really give it to other people.
Right. Music maybe is a language, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That you can speak with other people. Video game is, but to a lesser extent, maybe.
Definitely not back then. Maybe now it is. It's a language you can share and be social. You can be social on a level that's equivalent to what we're doing now in a video game. But back 20 years ago, you couldn't do that at all. There's no way you could have video, audio, discussions. None of that existed.
I just keep coming back to the thought that escapism ultimately is just getting away from life, and whether it's video games or not.
So do you have people... Do you have people that go on vacation and they hype up vacation? You're mostly men, right? In your business? I get that from a lot of women in the office. They get so excited about going someplace where I just
the women here like count down for like 9 months.
When they're going to, like, let's say, offshore or someplace random. Right. And I don't feel that way about going places. I think it's cool, but I'm not like super excited to go anywhere. I'm happy here.
Escapism?
I think it is, and I don't know why it's different for some people, that they have like a wanderlust for searching out places, experiencing the world. I mean, it's understandable, but another sense, it makes no sense at all, because it doesn't bring peace to you. You could see it in other ways and not have to go there and stand there and pretend like you are part of the society.
I guess what we run into then is that someone could say the same thing about your escapisms.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, someone else's. Because really, if someone asks me, what does it get you playing Clash of Clans? I'll be like, nothing. Some fun. I don't know. Kills time. Makes me feel something that's not the drudge of life. I don't know.
Something hidden. Something that you can control.
Yeah. It's also a community. It's nice being part of a different community.
Yeah, I agree. Have you ever been in a
people who start secret community?
Secret community. What was that? Bloodsucker vampire community?
Those people, man, they were some creepos.
Yeah. Now, have you ever been in a situation where you didn't want to be? Like, freshman year, I was in a dorm room with a guy that was a little bit off kilter, and he was like, in the middle of the night, he'd like scream at his girlfriend on the phone, and I was just like, this ain't gonna work. Like 3 months in, I need to escape from this damn room, and I did. But before that, I used to go out and just drink, just get out, just do something else because I couldn't stand being in that room.
Didn't want to be in there. Weird.
Yeah,
no, that sucks. I guess that's an escapism, quite literally.
Yeah, and that's the only time my life has been poor, you know? Like, the baseline of life is having to deal with something that's just completely shitty. And for other people that have shitty environments that they grew up in and, like, persisted, I can't imagine what life is for them and how they escape from, like, their abuse or their alcoholism or other things that they might not even know.
Drink, a lot of people do. There's so many different ways, I guess.
Relieve stress, like smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, smoke cigarettes. Most of them are vices, I guess. It's weird. There's like this blurring line between vice and hobby.
It's true. If you're good at it, it's not a vice.
Well,
if you're terrible at it.
But if you were really good at cigarettes, you think someone would be like, that's his hobby. He just flicks them around.
You could blow smoke rings. I mean, people are impressed by people who can blow crazy smoke rings.
So are those people are like, he has a vice? They're like, no, he has a great hobby. He's incredible.
He uses all natural smoke so it doesn't give him cancer.
Still will, probably.
That's another aspect, though, is that if you're really in deep in something, you understand it better than most people. So that's a chance for you to actually improve upon it, to learn from it, and maybe even build a business or be successful in life if you've delved into something really deep.
If not, make a connection in that network. You know,
True.
If you're one of the best EverQuest players in the world, and by chance your Fortune 500 company boss is in EverQuest, and you just happen to drop it, and you're like, you both like touch fingers. You're like, ding, hundreds of hours, hundreds.
Yeah, it could move you through life. You could be successful just because you wasted time doing something that someone else enjoyed.
That's very true. It's weird.
Yeah.
Do you think I read something that people think dreams are an escapist thing? Not like sleep. Dreams themselves.
That when you're dreaming while you're sleeping, you're thinking of things that allow you to escape your normal life?
Yeah. That was a theory. I don't know that I buy into it because I don't think I can control my dreams at all. I know they talk about lucid dreaming and all that. Here's another crazy thing. How does your brain know what it feels like to fly?
It takes every time you've jumped and just magnifies that falling feeling.
It's different. How about breathing underwater or going through walls in a dream or being in two places at once or like all that stuff? Because you can kind of feel that in dreams, I feel like. And I don't know what baseline to base it against. So I guess I don't know if that's really how it feels, but that's interesting. Can your brain
do you think
make up any scenario?
Most of your dreams start off in places that you already know. So that it's probably starting from a basis of like you're sitting at your desk. You know exactly how that feels like. And it starts to tilt and shift so that it's like it's no longer that place or that feeling or that sense. It's exploring. I think your mind is exploring what the possibilities are.
I think so. That's why I don't think I can control it. It's just kind of moving around in whatever direction it feels like or wants to or is not used to. Maybe it's being pliable or something. A weird question, though, is so if you can figure out what flying is, is your brain already hardwired to experience every sensation or every feeling?
If the possibility is there to feel something?
Yeah, like could I know what it's like to conduct a symphony to the utmost and like move all my hand motions and then hear the audience roar? Like, do I already have that built into me where I would know what that feels like?
I mean, to successfully conduct an orchestra, how
Yeah.
would you know that beforehand? How it feels?
Yeah.
Do you think it would feel like everything else? Like if you were super successful in every field, that it would start to feel the same, regardless of what you were
Probably
doing?
because think of what you do. It's repetition. Didn't we say mastery of a thing is like hundreds of hours?
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours. So if you did something for 10,000 hours, you don't even feel it anymore. You kind of escape it.
You do.
Your escape.
You're skipping over the parts that are boring, and then your brain can focus on the things that can make it creative and better.
I would argue it's actually focusing on the boring parts and just getting better at them. Like you figure out how to turn it into a video game and just beat the easy parts, kind of.
Well, you have a sequence. Shortcuts. I feel like your brain takes over for like a sequence of 10 things, and then like there's another layer that like takes those 10 things and starts shuffling them around, try to eliminate one of them or make them so you can do them in parallel, or maybe they fit together in a certain way.
Time or faster or something.
Yeah,
it's possible. I don't know. I'm just thinking about that. Why? Who knows?
Yeah.
And what I was going to get into a little bit is how is looking at art escapism?
I think it is. So
for certain people, not for others.
Yeah, I do have art in my house that I didn't talk about in a previous episode. So I have a lot of movie posters because I think they're cool, but they bring me back to the movie, which doesn't really bring me back to anywhere. The ones that I associate an aesthetic to, a sensation to, are the ones that are like, they remind me of things when I was younger. Like a lot of like the pathways to water. Like I have multiple pictures of like a bridge over water, or like a pathway on the sand, or like a little like wooden path over a bog or something. They all remind me of happiness because it reminds me of a place I went to when I was younger on the beach with all my cousins. We'd all get together and go to this one house. And it had a nice long walkway down to the beach. A very unique walkway.
So you're not seeing the bog when you see the bog or whatever?
No.
In a bridge?
Well, I've never been to the place in the picture.
Right, in the picture, the painting, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I
feel the wooden boards. Yeah, I feel the wooden boards of that beach house. I'm running down that beach house going to play in the sand and build a castle with my cousins. That's what I feel.
Well, here's a crazy thought. Picture yourself running down these beach boards at the old house you went to.
Mm-hmm.
Are you 100% sure you really ran like you even are remembering it? Like the exact steps? Did you land on the boards you're remembering? Like where your cousins were exactly where they were? Or is it kind of, it's made up too, isn't it? A little bit?
The one thing I can feel is like the texture of the boards on my feet, my bare feet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how fast I was going or who was with me, but that texture is imprinted.
You're running and you're...
Yeah. Well, part of that is like the Hollywood. You're laughing and giggling and everyone's running with you.
Isn't that weird though that even your memory is a little fake?
It's not skewed, all the way real. Yeah.
But you can definitely remember the texture.
It's like Hollywood is implanting a way to escape in your brain so that you're happy.
Let's say you never saw a Hollywood movie ever. Do you think you would remember it like that?
I don't know. Things would get a little blurry.
Right.
Would you believe it a certain way?
I think you have to remember it complete. You can't remember it blurry. So your brain fills in the blanks. And like we said, because of Hollywood, you kind of fill it in happy, smiling while you're running and all that.
Yeah.
But if it weren't for Hollywood, you would still probably have to fill it in. What would you fill it in with? You frowning? Running?
Slowly slogging along.
I don't know. I'd be interested to do that study on someone. We don't let them watch any movies in Hollywood, which is a bunch of perverts anyway. And just want to do that aside.
Yeah. You're talking about Harvey.
Disgusting. I forget his name. Weinstein. Weinstein.
Yep.
Whining kids, as we call them.
Yep.
Whining women. Anyway, just some weird stuff that your brain pulls tricks on you when you're trying to escape.
Yeah. Do you have any paintings yourself that you use to escape? Vignettes, maybe?
No, I feel like I look at old pictures sometimes. I think they're cool. But that's not art, per se. That's more I remember directly, I guess.
So our parents have this thing about like photo albums and capturing things and getting people together.
Yeah, photo albums.
Do you think they do that because they can't remember themselves? They're trying to escape to memories they can't remember, so they make you stand in one place. We'll take a photo of you, and I can look at it so I can remember this moment because it was a happy moment.
Yeah, 100%. Only because I'm like 30 and I could barely remember things from when I was 5 and 7 exactly.
It gets scarier probably as you're older and you only remember the last 10, maybe 5 years. Really? Honestly? You probably remember less than that if you think about it.
Right.
So maybe their version of escapism is remembering the past, which is not real anymore. So they
I don't know.
Make photo albums and check Facebook, Instagram.
Photos are real. You can't deny a photo. You know what I mean?
That's
the
true.
light bounced off our bodies, came back to the camera lens, exactly like that. There's nothing lie there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened the second before, the second after, the rest of that day, the rest of that year. But I do know in that second, that millisecond, that was captured. That was real. Right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Weird. I did want to bring up a couple key terms for us.
Sure.
There are a little bit about weird emotions you can get in your brain.
Oh, okay.
That aren't regular emotions. Not like, I'm happy, I'm sad.
I'm killing your girlfriend.
Touched on this one? No.
What is it?
It's probably a feeling.
That probably is.
I touched on one in a previous episode. I didn't realize it had a name. It's that feeling when you're really high up and you think, I feel like if I jumped,
you're going to fall off the edge.
Driving along a real narrow area. Not that you're going to fall, that you want to fall a little bit.
I don't get that feeling. I get the feeling that I'm not balanced. I'm imbalanced.
Well, that'll happen too. I think it's all related. The other one, like, have you ever felt like if you're on a really narrow bridge or something, really high up or something, like there's in your head, you're like, I could just swerve left as hard as I could, and this whole thing would go over, and everyone would be dead.
It would finish. Game over.
Yes.
You died.
Anyway, it's called lapel du vide.
Lapel du vide.
Mm-hmm. Call of the void.
Huh.
Call of the void. Anyway, I think it's your brain. Like if you're on train, you're right above the train tracks, and it's ready to come, and you just think, I could push someone right now, or I could jump right in front of it, and it would obliterate me. It's a little bit of escapism because that's the opposite of what you're doing with your day-to-day life. It's the opposite of every instinct you have. It's just a weird thing where you're like, yeah, I don't step in front of a moving train or a car or jump off a cliff. But your brain is like, what if you did? And you're like, you think about it for a second. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa.
It's like one of those classic people that are trying to jump off a bridge, but when they jump, they actually grab the bridge. They're like holding on, and their brain doesn't let them. Like it tries to, and then it's like, nope, you can't really do this.
Right.
This is the
Matrix.
I wouldn't be able to.
Mm-hmm.
You're part of the Matrix.
Want to hear a cool one?
Yeah.
Another brain feeling. It's called a wumbuk.
A wumbuk.
It's only native to Papua New Guinea. Okay. They must have crazy house guests. So when your house guests come over, you have to invite them in. You have to let them use their amenities. You have to let them live their life. Sometimes they stay for 1-2 days, whatever. They're loud, obnoxious. It's crazy. They ruin your house. There's furniture everywhere. They trip over things. They pee on things. Like the house guests are the worst there. After 24, 48, 58, 72 hours, they leave. And there's an emptiness in your house that they have a word for, a wumbuk.
I like that word.
An emptiness of the house.
I felt this right after college. The first,
there you go.
No, the second year of college when I spent.
You're like, whoa! I've been trying to get these people to leave for how long, and now it's so empty. So, do you know what they do to get rid of a wumbuk?
There's a remedy.
They place a bowl. Oh, there is. This will work. They place a bowl of water, hot water, boiled water, right in the middle of the hut. They let it sit overnight, the night that everyone leaves, and in the morning, the whole family gets up. They take the water outside. It absorbs all that energy of emptiness.
It doesn't work.
Throw it into the trees. It works. Have you ever tried it?
I'd take a dump right in the middle of that wumbuk water. I'm tired of your presence.
Try.
I get that feeling with my roommate in college, the second year, when everyone leaves for that summer after you've been together for so long. I mean, there's a bond there that you don't even realize is building up incrementally.
Right, they're annoying, they're whatever. Yeah. But then when they're gone, you're like...
You could feel that immediately. When that person's gone, you're just like, whoa, my life just changed. And it's powerful.
My next word is ilinx. It's ilinx. 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 It's a strange excitement for destruction. It's like a normal organized man. He's walking by and no one's around. He kicks over a tiny recycle bin just because he wants to do it.
I get this for fire alarms. I always want to hit a fire alarm. Yeah.
You just feel like, why? Not because...
I don't know. It's like you're not supposed to.
A call of the wild. But it's not like murder someone. It's usually something trivial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are they really going to care if I pull a fire alarm? I want to see like water gushing from the ceiling and everyone running, thinking it's a real fire. That's excitement right there, but it's harmless excitement for the most part, unless people injure themselves somehow.
That's great. Here's one I'm going to pronounce right. Colco Capu. Colco Capu.
No, I'm not going to try that.
Colcapu.
Akakupu.
Anyway, it's a feeling of homesickness for a place you've never visited.
Wow, I don't.
They say like
know that I.
They say like the
that.
Irish will get this.
Why?
If you were born in America, it's like a desire to visit the homeland. Like you want to go back to Ireland. Like
so, I
hear those like. I'm making. I'm totally. That's a different.
The Grapes
song.
of Wrath.
I don't know what song it was, but it's either way.
It's a battle hymn. It's a battle hymn.
Yeah, it was a battle hymn, but it was not the right one. And like I think you have tear in your eye. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. 2 by 2, they sound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm part Irish and part Polish. I think it would be cool to visit there, but I don't think that you don't have an essence.
Oh, you don't feel sometimes in the air?
The one thing I do know is that I'm attracted to Irish and Polish women, so I'm pretty sure I'd be happy there. It's a weird. I guess it's genetic. Pheromones are in sync.
That's weird. I guess so. How about pronoia?
Is that like paranoia?
But the opposite.
You love being...
You think... No. You have this weird, unsettling, creeping suspicion that people are out to help you.
That's the best one. Pronoia.
Just these people creeping up on you and they're like, some breakfast. And you're like...
I made you Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah. That new job opening is available, Steven. Come get your job opening, Steven. And it's like...
I was expecting that. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
I found some money on the ground. It's obviously not mine. Would you like it?
Would you like it? It's for you. Everything's for you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, I think. You almost want bad things to happen to you, I guess. So weird.
That's the word of the podcast, I think. Pronoia.
Yeah,
I could see like the dumbass being that way. He thinks everything's going to work out. So he's like, oh, that's fantastic. It's like, she died in front of me. What do you mean? He's like, it's meant to happen. There's a reason for it. Be happy.
There's a reason. It's beautiful. And lastly, I didn't write everything down, but the last one was called Torschluss Panik.
Torschluss Panik? That sounds like a Russian word.
I think it was German. It might have been Torschluss Panik. Okay. It's life is passing you by. The sands of time are slipping away. You're very panicky. Sometimes this will just happen to you at random.
Midlife crisis.
I don't know. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Except that I think this can happen at any point in your life. Grains of sand. You have to go real quick. I haven't accomplished enough. Oh my God, I haven't done this today. I have to job interview tomorrow. Oh my God.
I understand that.
Do whatever.
People feel stuck in one place and they feel like they haven't done enough. I don't know what you could do to feel like you've done enough, though. Torschluss Panik.
Well, what's interesting is if I think of all of these words we just described and all this escapism we were talking about earlier.
Those are the fears.
If I told you were on a roller coaster, but the roller coaster was a straight line, it was just a damn ride, and it started here, and you were strapped in.
When does it end?
To here, and it ended. Like, that would be extremely boring, extremely weird, extremely neurotic, extremely... I don't think you could live that way.
You want the ups and downs to feel some meaning, some power, some purpose.
You Even if it's
feedback,
pretend, you would
resonance.
need to create fears. You got to create feelings. You got to create escapes. You want to go left. I want to go right. I want to go up. I want to go down. I want to go backwards a little bit. I want to freeze time. I want to speed up. I want to slow down. But ultimately, I mean, you're still moving along that track to the end. I guess it's unsettling.
Do you think people create their own phobias so that they can feel that emotion?
Why not? Catch-22 had Dunbar, my favorite character of all.
I forget what his... I mean, I remember Dunbar, but I don't remember.
He was cultivating boredom. He would just stare at the ceiling and not talk to anyone or play any card games or engage in any fun that anyone else was having at the hospital. And they asked why. And Dunbar said, I want to stay bored. And they said, why? He said, because when you're bored, life passes you by much, much slower.
I remember
Every
that.
hour drags like a day. Every minute is an hour. This is this.
He had a philia of life.
Yeah. He did, because he was afraid if he enjoyed life, it would just pass him by. Next thing you know, he said, do you remember the first bra you unhooked? You were 13. Remember the first... And
kiss.
That's the exact quote. First kiss you had. First time you laid eyes on a woman. First time you learned how to talk and walk and play sports with your little friends. You blink and it's over. You blink and you're here. You're blinking. Right now we're on the verge of death. Any minute we could be dead. And I just want to sit here and be as bored as can be. And let the minutes turn to hours, and the hours turn to days, and these days I have left, turn them into friggin' months.
He was reveling in the past.
Weird.
Who died in that book, Catch-22? Joseph Heller. There was a guy who died while he was on like a raft or something, and a plane flew too low.
Yeah, that was
the whole theme was that the guy was happy and excited. He was cheering on the plane as it came.
Bloody hips.
Yeah.
Was the phrase.
He got whacked by the propeller as it was like 3 feet off the ground.
Sliced him in half. Kid Samson.
Yes.
Cut in half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doc Danica. It's a 2 name. We'll have to do a correction for the episode.
Yeah.
But anyway, do you know what he did after he looked back and realized he cut Kid Samson in half?
No, I don't remember the part.
He turned back towards the nearest mountain, said, he didn't say it, but everyone could hear him say it in the way he drove his plane. The way his plane drove, it said, oh, well, what the hell? And he drove into the mountain, just killed himself.
Huh.
Crazy, right?
Because of the accident? Because he
was going to get busted, dude. He wasn't supposed to drive that low and that close to the civilians while they were having fun. So it was 100% his fault.
Because it was just a joyride, right?
Yep.
It was an escape.
Doing the old Maverick and Goose, pulling down.
Yeah.
Do we have permission? Bye-bye.
So that brings me to...
That's a negative Ghost Rider.
That brings me to retirement. Some people use retirement as an escape, and they live with a life that's how many years? 20 to 63, 40, 43 or more years of maybe bullshit to retire in a life that, once you're 63, you're not who you were when you were 30 or 20 or even 40. Like, people buy into that because I don't know why.
Well,
why
what
don't
you saying that they can't do something for 40 years because it would make them go crazy?
I'm thinking that the vision that they have in their heads of what they will do when they retire is completely different than what they can do
20 years down that road. Right.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to travel the world and sell gypsies butter from a can.
Going to churn that can into butter.
Yep. I don't know. Weird.
So that's an escapist mentality, though. If you really don't like your job, but you're set 30 years, so I'm just going to retire and be happy doing this thing. That thing is probably not going to make you happy. Yeah, if you go to an island resort or go cruising, like you think.
Right, that's away from everybody. That would be a weird thing to do.
Yeah. So really, the goal should be to enjoy right now, which is what European countries do. They enjoy the people that are near them, and they don't think about retirement as much. Or
so is that an American issue? I have no idea. I really have nothing to do with retirement.
I don't know.
I'm not.
In America, we sell a ton of dreams. We try to sell as many dreams and fears as possible, I think.
A good way to put it. I never thought of it like that. I wouldn't disagree with it at all.
Yeah. So there's one more form of escapism. Oh, we haven't talked about it yet. Virtual reality.
I think it's getting bigger. I don't think it's really there yet, is it?
Yeah, I don't think it's quite there. I did watch Ready Player One, which has like an entire world. I kind of liked it. There are parts that didn't. Like, there's a level that's probably meant for people who are like 30 to 40. And there's a level that's meant for like maybe kids, but it switches back and forth, which makes it kind of awkward. Plus, it's illogical because all these people are plugged into some virtual world and they're like running around in the real world. Like, they're not going to collide or hurt each other or just say, we're done with this. So there is like Second Life, which is kind of like Ready Player One. Second Life is a real game where you can enter in and buy digital items and live life in a digital world.
Do they have sex in that game?
I mean, they probably... We are having sex right now as I type. Okay. I will stick my burger in you and...
some housewife action in there.
Some lonely housewife action?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I could see people living life in that Second Life and feeling like it's more real than their first life. I could see a lot of that. Because they have more
power almost, because they have more decision. They're richer in this life, in a way.
I don't think you can get hurt in the Second Life, so there's only positives. But that seems so fake after you say it like that.
Here's a question for you. So I'm utilitarian, meaning I think the greater good for the greater amount of people is good.
How much is one old person worth? If they're 70 years old, how many young people would you say?
How many more deets?
If they're 23 years old, how many do you save?
2.
So if you so 60 something, 70. Sorry, old person. You're worth 3 young people.
No, other way around. 3 old people worth a young person. There we go. There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
That's the reverse of what I would think. Is that an old person is closer to death?
A young person's worth more. Oh, am I saying it backwards?
Yeah.
3 old people is worth 1 young person.
Okay. Yeah, you're saying it right. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Just clarify. Yeah.
So here's the idea anyway. Most stuff I'm utilitarian. The old question was, okay then, let's say you find out everyone's plugged into a matrix. Machines using them for energy. I'm going to really just use the matrix. It's pretty easy.
You're a battery.
They use you like a giant battery. You're plugged in, but your brain is entirely hooked up to this fake world, and you're having a good time in this fake world. Like, everyone's doing pretty good. I mean, there's some people that are a little miserable, but it's like life right now. Most people are fairly happy. They don't know that their batteries, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is it moral if you had the decision to let everyone sit like that? What would you do?
You're saying, are you going to escape the world to save them, or are you going to be like Cypher, Joe Pantolano, who's going to go back into the Matrix world and live it like it's the real world? Second Life.
Oh, the dude Cypher. Okay.
Cypher.
Right, sorry, you confused me. I didn't know, and you used his real name. You threw me off. Okay. Yeah, the dude Cypher. Which is morally a better thing to do? Which should you do?
If there was another realer world on top of this one, would you go to it? I mean, you would be escaping it.
Guaranteed to be pretty miserable.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, definitely. The way they bring you back, if it's the Matrix, but you'd be essentially escaping real life if you were trying to live this life, right? So if there was one that was more painful but real, shouldn't you go back to that unless you're an escapist?
Yes. I don't know.
How many layers are there? How painful
I don't know if there's a layer beyond that. I don't know.
I feel like you'd be bonded with the people who were there. Like, if this wasn't a solo mission and other people decided the same thing as you would definitely have a bonding moment with them because you decided all together to do this one thing. You'd be a binding force, which I think would make you happy in a really weird way.
So. Right. There's something about the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So a person's happiness isn't necessarily their joy. Am I using the right term? Their bliss isn't their happiness, or their... I want to separate excitement
fake
and
happiness,
entertained.
kind of? Yeah.
Right. There's an excitement. Entertainment is not the same as happiness. We could do a whole episode on that. But just...
Yeah.
True happiness.
There's like a subtle happiness that you can't take away from people. There's a joy that's like inside of them that will never die. That's happiness.
Getting your way is not the way to get that happiness. It's almost like counterintuitive happiness.
Yeah, the easy way is not going to gain you happiness most of the time.
Yeah, struggling, going against it, kind of brings its own happiness, which is a human condition. I think it keeps us waffling, keeps humans from stagnating. Maybe that's part of escapism. We want to escape. We want to come back. We want to suffer. We want to do good. We want to be happy. We're not happy enough. We get bored.
Do you think
That's
people in
why
different
robots will never take us over? We get bored.
We're too weird and creative and different.
Right. And we're not happy when we're happy.
Can you imagine a robot trying to corral us all?
Yeah. They're throwing papers in the air like, this is bullshit. These people we're giving them everything that makes humans happy, and they're not happy. They want something else. I can't explain it. Humans are bastards.
So do you think people in first world countries escape more or less than people in third world countries, where the conditions are horrible?
I would think more. But I don't know.
The third world countries people, they escape more than
I think the first world.
Because they're bored? Because they have more time to escape?
And because they have more escapes.
They're aware of the possibilities.
Like VR. No. They have more escapes.
That's true.
You go to a third world country, they don't have VR. They don't have a movie in every corner. They don't have Netflix. They don't have 8 TVs in their house. They don't have a cell phone that has 400 games. They don't have any of that.
They just have the people in front of them, which keeps them plugged in to the other people.
I don't know. Folks, my brain's going to explode.
I think we did a good job.
I think I did. I think we did. It was a good episode, I think. What did we cover?
Oh, boy.
Escapism? Escapes?
Daydreaming?
Escapes? Daydreams?
Alcohol, drugs, medication.
Night dreams?
Art.
Folks. Art.
College.
Movies.
Video games. Women.
Third world countries.
Music.
Dames. Frauds.
Midlife crises.
Women.
Retirement.
Broads. I said broads.
Because they're broad hips. Bring it back. Prolapse. International Women's Day.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That's good. And a bunch of terms from just a bunch of terms. We'd save that for another day.
Yeah. Well,
cool.
Yeah. Good night. Thank you for listening.
Good. Yeah. Everyone, don't escape real life, but if you do, escape it with us. Ooh. Good podcast. That'd be a great escape. Maybe the best escape. Folks, we friggin' like you.
We like you?